So we all know Brock as a hopeless romantic, heart rate racing and moving crazy every time he comes close to a Nurse Joy or Jenny, or any pretty girl for that matter. This man is constantly trying and failing to find his one true love, but there is actually quite a few girls who have fell for Brocko over the years, and who wouldn't? Brock is a kind, caring human being with so many skills, helping out around the house, known for looking after his siblings, great cook, and most importantly, great with Pokemon. So it makes sense that at least a few girls would fall for him. So Brock has constantly pursued affection from women, usually older women. I mean, this man literally left the cast and was replaced by Tracy, caused a whole uproar and commotion in the fandom just to be closer to Professor Ivy.
Don't mention that name!
And only her and Brock know what actually went on there because he refuses to tell us.
I don't want to talk about it.
It was one of the funniest gags from when Ash returned to the Orange Islands. I really enjoyed them few episodes. Tracy nervous over showing Oak his drawings, Brock is in complete ruins over Ivy, and Ash just chasing Gary. It was peak Pokemon comedy, but a lot of it came at Brock's expense. But after this, one of the first and most notable girls that fell head over heels for Brock was Timasu. This was during Johto in an episode that heavily revolved around Brock. We finally got some development to his endless flirting with pretty girls. Brock caught Timasu before she fell over and it was love at first sight. Straight away she laid it on thick with Brock and he folded like a pack of cards. It was funny seeing someone do a Brock back to Brock. He's so unsure what to do, he's not used to this situation. Usually it's just him doing the flirting, but when the roles are reversed, he was completely unaware of what to do. And of course Brock lets this opportunity slip him by because he can't make his mind up before she moves on to the next best thing. Firstly James from Team Rocket, but then the local doctor. Sorry Brock, I don't think you can compete with that. When Brock caught his Lotad in Hoenn, there was a flower shop with 3 sisters. It was a pretty funny situation because Brock would constantly be having his moment with the 2 older sisters, and then the younger one would just get so jealous because she developed a very small crush on Brock herself. Obviously she's too young for Brock, but it made a fun dynamic for the episode with her admiring the person that he is, even going to get a whole list of berries for him. And then onto the Battle Frontier, and we have quite a famous trainer who blushed when Brock spoke to her, and this was the queen of the Battle Pike herself, Lucy. I'm a big fan of this one. This was a weird time in Pokemon where the writers seemed to be in a mood for shipping, especially having Annabelle, another Frontier brain, blush after touching Ash. So who knows, in another timeline Ash and Brock are settling down with 2 Frontier brains. But this was the rare occasion where a girl who Brock actually likes seems to like him back. But she's maybe just too shy, or she has an appearance to keep up, so she can't openly admit that to him. But it was such a nice touch to add to the episode, and it seems to all stem from Brock's very narrow eyes. She goes home to her Pokemon who all have very similar looking eyes and tells them she met someone while blushing. I do wish we got more from this, more interactions. It would have been hilarious to see how Brock felt about Lucy liking him back. I'm all for this one. So I want to head back to Kanto for a second to talk about Susie. Brock was a massive fan of her and her Pokemon clinic, even offering to take care of her Vulpix, looking after it until they met back up in Johto. For me, this is my favourite Brock ship. I would have loved to see these 2 together, but I do think the feelings were more on Brock's side. It's so funny how he dressed up in a damn tux and gets flowers for when they reunite. But in the second meeting there is definitely a lot of respect and maybe a hint of some feelings that Susie has for Brock. But of course there's another dude in the picture, Susie's rival, who they have known each other since they were kids. So Brock was up against it again. Still I like them together, not a girl who necessarily liked Brock, but they had a lot of mutual respect and admiration for each other. And then another one of my favourites is Holly, who again is a pretty girl that Brock fell for straight away, but with a twist. They were paired up together in the Heart Home tag battle, so they were forced to work together. She was actually a pretty cool character. She seemed very interested in Brock and his knowledge of Pokemon, learning from him to progress through the tournament. And along the way she eventually developed a crush on him back. There's a literal shot where she's clearly making love heart eyes right at him, which we all know in anime means true love. These 2 had a great chemistry, worked so well together and mutually had feelings for each other. This was the perfect matchup, but the writers are cruel to our boy. It wasn't meant to be. After they lost and exited the tournament, she left to go on her own training journey to one day become a worthy partner for Brock. This is annoying but also hilarious of an excuse. Either she is chatting Wingle poop or Brock is stuck to endlessly walk the earth alone, as maybe all along there is no woman out there who is good enough for him. But most likely the writers just found it funny. There was a girl called Autumn at the Miltank Maid Cafe where the gang stopped. She was quite clumsy, not having full control over her Miltank, and Brock helped her to train. This was a great episode for Brock, showing off what he's been working towards. I really like how Diamond and Pearl handled Brock. They constantly are showing off his growth. He's not just mindlessly striving towards becoming the best breeder, he's actively growing and helping people along the way, with a lot of awesome experiences and episodes. And clearly Autumn agrees because she fell for Brock. This was similar to the flower shop in Hoenn, where Brock was more interested in the two older sisters. I'm not sure on the ages of Autumn, but she doesn't look as young as Natalie did in Hoenn, but still Brock always opts for the older women. There was a Flint fanatic who dressed like Flint in Sinnoh, but this wasn't really a major ship, but she did develop feelings for Brock, seeing his strength, Brock helping her learn more about Pokemon and battles. You can see her blushing looking at Brock and getting annoyed when he flirts with another girl, so she clearly had feelings, again showing off the chick magnet that Brock was in Sinnoh. Brock returned in Sun and Moon on two separate occasions, firstly where they took a trip to Kanto to visit the gyms and get some battle action in with him and Misty, where we got Brock's awesome Mega Steelix reveal, but the second time it was Brock and Misty's turn to come to Alola, and this is where we get an unexpected romance bloom between the two rock type fanatics. Well, Brock turns out to be a complete simp for Olivia, having loads of pictures of her in this book of pretty girls. Yeah, that is a bit creepy, Brock, but let's see where it takes you. This arc also has a great Brock moment where he shows off his doctoring skills by helping out an injured baby Kangaskhan, using his newly acquired Comfy to calm the mother down. He's so great in these situations, as we've seen so many times in the past. So Brock is going crazy on Akala, crying literal tears and looking under rocks for Olivia. He's gone insane, but their meeting was destined and she trips and falls and he offers his hand to help her up, similar to the Tamasu situation. And Brock opens up with a marriage proposal before she has even spoke. I mean, personally not the best opening pickup line, Brock, but he actually succeeds here, so who am I to judge? So Brock is the main one flirting with Olivia, but there is clear blushing going on. Now there is a huge elephant in the room with this one, and that is the age gap. I don't think this is a realistic ship for that reason. Brock obviously likes older women, he has all throughout the series, so no problem from his side, but Olivia blushing and appearing to return some affection back. I don't think this is in a romantic sense. Olivia is already quite eccentric and in-your-face kind of person, so I think it's pretty clear that she is just a older woman who loves to have attention and loves that another rock type specialist admires her so much. I think she just really respects Brock and is blushing with excitement that a guy like Brock fancies her. There is a lot of respect between them, but she's a bit too old for you, Brock, maybe in 10 years. But I really love this episode in general, showing off how great of a guy Brock is, and a wholesome moment with the original trio watching the fireworks. Sun and Moon just hits different. So that is most of the women that had some sort of affection towards Brock. He is a caring guy who, although gets rejected by every pretty girl he sees, he's also had a fair few that have fell for him. Brock is stuck in the endless romance loop. Maybe one day he will return and find his special someone, but for now he is forced to walk the earth alone. But that's alright, because we all love Brock for who he is, one of the smartest, loyal travel companions that Ash has ever had. What a fantastic character this guy is. Never change, Brock.
This is my paradise, so live on. Olay, yeah, yo.